What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie when Uncle Tendencies in the building. Y'all know what it is. We got Political Lil. We here for the conversation. We here for the conversation. Y'all know what it is. We've been waiting on this one. Miracle Rider, what's good, fam? Political Lil, what's happening? What's good? You good, fam? We're gonna get into this one. We're gonna get into this one. We're gonna talk about the Chicago Sky. Lil, what's up?
What's going on?
All right. It's been a minute. Sharon Stevens, what's up, fam? What's up? June Brown in the building. Miracle Rider, what's good? Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Cause see, welcome back, y'all. Come on in. Y'all know I got it's PoliSports tea time, but y'all know I got my Coca-Cola on deck. Water, tea, coffee, whatever it is. Get it out.
Get your libations.
Get your libations together. Exactly. Another episode of CessTalksSports, BWISE, PoliSports tea time. Y'all know it's sports, politics colliding. And we calling out hustles being run on black fans, black players, and black culture. Okay, we calling it out. We are calling it out. This one about betrayal. Lil. This one was about betrayal. This is Broken Sky episode 4. If y'all seen it already, thank y'all. If you haven't, please check out the recorded episode. False hustle. That Chicago Sky win now. That win now. Media manipulation and erasure of black culture in the WNBA. The Sky front office basically pushed a fraudulent win now strategy on us at the beginning of the season. Brass tacks, what's happening? Not to make Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso champions, not to honor Teresa Weatherspoon, whose leadership had helped shape two, I think, all WNBA rookie selections. Instead, they wanted to sell hope, move some merch, and cash in on the loyal fan base, which was crazy to me. And they didn't do it alone. The media jumped in there with a megaphone, carried the PR, framed the narrative, covered up the con till Lil got here. Lil one called out the con. But by the end of this one, y'all gonna see it wasn't basketball, it was a scheme. They used players, erased culture, manipulated fans, and weaponized the media to pull it off. So y'all know, rolling with me to unpack it all. The one who always brings the fire, cutting straight through the politics, power, and sports with no holds barred. Political Lil, what's good?
What's going on, family? Thank you all for coming and tuning in. Yep, we can peel back the layers and show y'all how this little win now strategy they was bragging about turned into a loss for the team, the black culture, and for black fans. And we're gonna break down the media's role and how they kept this con rolling. And we're going to go deep. We're not going to hold back. By the end of the day, you'll see exactly why the Chicago Sky win now strategy, that hustle was false. And why it's on all of us to recognize these things. We have to call this stuff out and demand better. I mean, for you to, go around here like you get ready to do something major and then fall into a 28 record with 2 cornerstone stars, that's nothing but a mess. So y'all better buckle up because we get ready to show enough lay it out.
And I got questions for the audience too. So while we get ready to break down this first segment, y'all let me know if the front office can't provide the facilities, elite players, or a proven coach, do you think fans should still support a win now plan? And why or not? Why not? How, if you don't got the facilities, if you don't have all of the players that you need, and if you don't have the coach that you need, how can you even try to pull off a win now strategy? So that's what I want y'all to talk to me about in the chat. Y'all hit the like and the share. They both right there. Let's get into this. Let's get into it because this so-called win now strategy it sounded real slick on paper. The reality check was no practice facility until 2026. No elite free agents even picking up the phone. I don't know. Did anybody stop through Chicago? I'm at the point where I would like Angel and Kamilla to demand a trade at the end of the year. Yeah. At any point, Chicago Sky is worse this year than last year. Well, yeah, there's that. No proven coach. They fired Teresa Weatherspoon, and they slid in an untested Tyler Marsh, right? I'm not saying that Tyler Marsh can't be a successful coach in this league. I'm saying that they hired him and didn't set him up for success either. But he was also in a situation where, as a coach trying to get to a head coach, if you turn down that opportunity, do you get another one in this league? right? So I can understand. I can imagine probably what he went through thinking about that. Like, is this the time to leave Las Vegas? Will this opportunity come again? If I fail, will they send me home like they did Teresa? Not to think about. But I ain't playing now. No way you put it. That's spin now. And the receipts back it up. 9-28, 2025. It wasn't a plan to make Angel and Kamilla champions at all. A hustle, a marketing con built to keep fans swiping, spending, and believing in the dream. The front office, they ain't never even intended to deliver. They sold y'all a dream. They didn't even just keep on paying for a dream. They didn't plan on delivering.
Almost. That's exactly it. That's exactly it, Auntie says. And if you zoom out for a second, the Chicago Sky didn't just roll out a bad basketball strategy. They rolled out a marketing plan. They knew Angel Reese had cultural weight. They knew Kamilla Cardoso brought promise. And they knew Teresa Weatherspoon carried respect. But instead of building a foundation, they used all three as props in a storyline designed to keep the cash flowing. And here's the kicker. The media played right along. They told us this is about a bold rebuild. They hyped up the fresh start. They even framed the dysfunction as part of the grind. But they never asked the real question. Why were Black leaders being pushed aside? Why was the culture being erased from the identity of the team? And why was the fan base, mostly Black women, being treated like we wouldn't notice the con? That wasn't just spin, that was manipulation. The press conferences, the headlines, the highlight reels, all of this was designed to hide the fact that Win Now plan had no true path to success. So what we're left with is this. You got players that were exploited, fans misled, and a culture, I'm talking about our culture, erased from the narrative. And family, that's not just a basketball story, that's a political story. This is about power, profit, and control. Because when you erase the culture, you erase the accountability. And when you erase accountability, the hustle rolls on.
So, Lil, let me ask you this. How do they actually sell a win now strategy if they don't really have an infrastructure that says they can win now? No facility, like I said, no elite free agents, no coaching pedigree. How do they pull this off?
You know, what they do is sell the illusion of momentum. You know, you look at last year, as they were coming up to the All-Star break, it looked like, oh, they maybe about to do something major. So, you use social media to, hype it up. It looked like the team at the All-Star break, it looked like they was on the rise. Even though they didn't really have the resources. Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso, bless their heart, because of they were the faces of success in college. They were able to easily say, I remember he said in a press conference, we're going to pick people who already know how to win, noticing that, both of them were back-to-back champions in college, and then, you didn't have a practice facility until 2026, but it was a promise that it was going to be there. But then again, you lied and said Teresa Weatherspoon couldn't attract free agents. GM, ain't nobody taking your call either, and then for you to go get a young coach that had less experience than the coach that you claim didn't have the experience to put together a championship, that's PR. That's promotional content, flashy graphics, optimism, optimism in the messaging. Win now. That's a catchphrase. If you know marketing.
I saw Asia this summer working out in what looked like the Las Vegas Aces facility. Y'all see how good Asia look right now? Like an MV4. I know this ain't about her, but I'm just saying she looked like MV4. Why? Because she had a facility that she could at least go practice in. What was they plan for Angel and Kamilla to get better in the offseason? Where would they go practice?
That's what I'm saying. They really didn't have no plan. What? Angel was paying her own trainers and developers.
Oh, I think they all are. Remember, this the same team. This the same team. This young lady, she came out from practice and her shoes were stole.
Oh, a Diamond. Yeah, Diamond.
This that young lady, right? Okay, yeah. Just win now. No, spin now. But bigger than that, who benefits with this false narrative, Lil? like when it's pushed like this, it's not the players, it's not the fans. Who's winning here, and what's the basis?
The beneficiaries are the front office and the corporate sponsors. You know, executives collect revenue from inflated ticket prices, merchandise, and sponsorship deals, while the fans are left chasing a dream that doesn't exist. You know, so they bring in the media outlets. They gain engagement as well, you know, because they constantly selling a story. Mm-hmm. But the players, their name, image, and likeness simply exploited, you know, and so you know, they set them up to shoulder the blame. I mean, look how quick, soon as it fell apart, couldn't have been 5 minutes and 60 seconds. Man ran out there, you know, doing hit pieces and stuff like that. A win now strategy, when you sit back and evaluate it, because, you know, as you know, I'm just rolling with the season, but then I was thinking, you know, because I have a background in marketing communications, I was like, you know, they selling us, this is some smoke and mirrors. I said, this is not, there's no way you could pull it off.
The spidey senses start tingling, huh?
Yeah, they start
tingling. Spidey senses was tingling.
I said,
no.
Nah.
Things that make you go, right? So
Yep.
let's talk about the part that cuts the deepest, though. It's the fans, right? And you were a fan. That's the thing. I think that's the thing that drew me to what it was you were saying the most, because you were a fan. You went, you spent that $21 for that hot dog, that drink, right? You were hyped to go again, right? Like
I'm buying shirts. I'm
not a Chicago Sky fan. I'm a Kamilla Cardoso fan, and I'm an Angel Reese fan. I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan. Y'all know that, right? So, but y'all in the chat, y'all, oh man, the new, you know, the Reese Pieces coming out. Oh man, Angel got the burger coming out. Oh, you know, all these different things coming, going, Angel doing, want to support. I love that, because that's what it's supposed to look like. City on fire, young people coming out, culture moving, right? Courtside, then all of a sudden, courtside jumped from $200 to $775. VIP packages doubled to over $8,600. General admission went way up. It pushed the day ones, the backbone of the culture. Yeah, $21 for a hot dog. It was a hot dog and the drink.
Yeah,
if that make it better. Okay. If that make it better. And okay, but the fans, and the thing was, you had already paid your money. You couldn't get your money back. You know, once you had bought the tickets, and then they start tearing stuff apart. They was like, we got their money. Okay, yeah, send Teresa away quietly. Kennedy, she's not coming back, but don't tell them. Right,
to the last minute.
So after all of that, for $8,600, for $775 courtside, you got 9 and 28. A win now slogan built on smoke. And the front office is counting dollars while the team racked losses. That's not investment. That's not community. That's consumer fraud. To me, plain and simple. But how did the Sky's front office flip a false win now promise into a marketing scheme that turned fans into ATM? Every time I look up, you got something. They wanted something. How does that work?
You know, the front office, they packaged the hype as the product. They couldn't produce the product, so they made the hype the product. They sold the narrative of an immediate playoff team with championship potential. You know, they hyped up Reese and Cardoso as the, you know, stars, and they just used the fan excitement to justify them skyrocketing ticket prices and was moving merch. You know, so they created a sense of like urgency and hope. And so the fans, you know, you want to be left behind, so you felt compelled to invest. But they didn't build a team for success. It was an illusion of success. So marketing becomes the engine, and the fan loyalty becomes the capital. And you put them two things together, and you know you got the perfect smoke screen.
That, you know what? And love today you bring another. This is a great another point, right? You could be doing all you can to try to not to support the Chicago Sky, but man, here come Kiki Hola or the Vaux is coming to town. It's almost like they got a stranglehold on it. Where else you gonna go see him at? You got to come see him here, even if you don't want to. You want to see Asia? Where you going? Where you going? You want to see Kiki? Where you going? You want to see Burton? You want to see me here? Where you going? I mean, the Detroit Shock are coming. The Detroit Shark are coming. The Detroit Shark coming, so it'll be somewhere else that you can go. But if you got to choose between going to Chicago and going to Indiana, where you going? You know you pulling up in Chi-Town. You pulling up in Chi-Town, and they got that, and they know that. Where's the product? Oh shit, we waiting on it. Chicago selling the fan dreams and giving players nightmares while they paid. I think that's what you're saying. Oh, laid back collecting money. I caught up with it. Does the front office do season pass holder surveys? Yeah. Here's the thing. A lot of businesses do surveys. Do they utilize them? Do they really leverage them? It's cute to say you did the survey. Did you use the survey?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of star. Look, you had to be in the building last year to know what I'm talking about. I was in the building when Moki was there. I'm talking about you had stars, celebrity. It was just, and I've been going to games over the 20-year period. It was just electric up in there because you had so many brands at work. You know, Reese is a brand. Teaspoon is a legend. Then you had Kennedy, and let me tell you something. I don't care what a lot of people say. You know, y'all want to clown about this comment she made online and this, that, and the other. Kennedy Carter moved a lot of merch in Chicago. This city absolutely adored her. You know, even when Angel had gotten injured, they they were still in that pack. I know a whole lot of people was buying her jerseys. I was like, you didn't get an Angel? No, Kennedy was very popular here, because she was just a gritty. She could have fit in any neighborhood here. I put it like that. For her to be from the country, she could have fit in any neighborhood in Chicago and worked out. They were very excited about her.
But see, I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it. But see, that's where that black excellence, that black culture, that black swag, right? That's where that erasure comes in. Because they would play Kennedy like people think she crazy. Kennedy go everywhere and get love. You can't tell. Look at everywhere else she been. Everywhere. Tell me the one place besides WNBA that Kennedy Carter been and it ain't been loved. See, I got a side eye to WNBA in that situation. She went to China and got love. She went to Mexico and got love. Where did she just land? Serbia or somewhere? Where is she at now?
I think she in Turkey.
Where is she at now? She getting love. Like everywhere she goes, she get love and wins and MVPs. You see what I'm saying? But the WNBA couldn't figure it out. But they would have you think that Kennedy is the problem. Okay, this ain't about Kennedy. Let me see what else we got. I'm convinced Chicago Sky fans are like Dallas Knicks fans. Just take anything the franchise gives them. Anytime they say no and not purchase tickets or anything for the franchise to demand change. Got to demand a change. Yeah. Candace looked like she didn't want to be at her jersey retirement. Well,
it was uncomfortable. I didn't like that either. It shouldn't have been that way.
Lil, we need to have a talk about that one. Let's do a deep dive on that one. That would be interesting. How you think it should be? Does she have one more coming up? She's got one more, right?
No, I don't because first of all, I didn't agree with her number being retired. I thought that honor should have went to Copper. Copper had been there the longest, and I know she's a hometown product, and it probably accounted for a lot of seats, but she didn't like spend her career there. She was pissed off with LA, and they was able to snatch her to come home, I guess, to take a breather, because the first chance she got, she jumped right out of there. So
then she got there and found out they wasn't doing pregame meals, Lil. That's what happened. But I think that they will. I think that they will retire Copper's jersey. I think Chicago loved Kai Copper.
They did.
Nobody, but
they did.
But
she gave a lot to the team.
I know Kai Copper loves Chicago because of the way that she still talk about it right now. Kennedy had a big following in Chicago. Many of Spoon's fans were upset when they fired her. Spoon had a huge following coming this year.
She did.
Yeah. Let me see what else. Candace didn't look like she wanted to be there, but we'll talk about that. Arabia, thank you. Saudi Arabia, thank you.
Oh, she in Saudi getting that oil money. All right, I love it.
I think Kyle will get retired at some point. Kennedy is the problem in the league that chooses to promote mayonnaise, mediocrity, and Kennedy is unabashedly a strong black sister. Yeah, listen, Kennedy is some. Yeah, we'll do a special talk on Kennedy too. That'll be fascinating, Lil. Valkyries being a new team and having a better record than the Sky, along with the high quality rollout, had me giving Chicago Sky the side. So the thing that I want people to recognize too about like the way the Valks rolled out versus the way the Dream rolled out, like it took the Dream a little bit to get rolling before they hit the playoffs. Golden State came into an organization partnered with an NBA organization that had won 4 chips, and it been to and recently, right? And they have found out a way to balance like analytics and collaboration and eye test to be able to build winners. And I think that's really helping them right now. They picked a great team, but they keep great people in that building and in that under that Golden State banner. So came from the New York Liberty's front office, but hadn't been able to get it done for the New York Liberty. It took Stewie to get there, right? So that was a great pickup. That was a great pickup to be able to bring that person in from there. Good players, GM coming out of a Liberty office that built a championship team. Great understanding, defensive-minded coach, tough. But they also have just a super fan base. The fan base, the city of San Francisco, the Bay Area, sells Valks as much as the basketball team. It's a match made in heaven. It's beautifully done. A lot of pressure on other teams coming on, like Toronto and Portland. And people talk about like, Toronto has a lot to live up to. Portland has a lot to live up to. Detroit has a lot to live up to. Yeah, but Chicago, you got a lot to live up to. It's a lot of it's a lot of current teams that got some work they got to do. So, but y'all tell me, how much is too much when it comes to ticket prices and VIP packages? That's what I want to know from y'all, especially when the product on the court isn't delivered. Like, what you willing to pay? How much is too much? Lil, what does it say when real winners aren't on the court, but in the executive suite, counting ticket sales while the culture take the loss?
It says they got a system that values profit over people. And I think that's, if you look at the 20-year history of this organization, you could easily see that. They value optics over culture. These executives, they cash in on hype, they erase leadership, they misrepresent talent, and they exploit fan devotion. It reveals a true priority. The front office wins, the culture loses, and the players and fans bear the fallout. It's a clear case of exploitation master strategy. I mean, if you look at all the stars that have come through Chicago and the 27 people they surveyed, talk about them like a dog. I mean, you could see their game being played over and over and over. They bring that star in, they use them, and they discard them, and it just becomes a pattern that the league should have checked years ago. Instead of allowing them to do these stars, treat these stars. I mean, the way they using Angel is heartbreaking. Because that girl wants to win, and you're not doing anything to. A fair exchange ain't never been a robbery. I put it like this. Exploitation involves you taking advantage of somebody and giving them nothing in return. All that girl asking you all to do is to put a team on the floor that can make her and the team successful. Now, I ain't saying she got to, win a championship right away, but she's the face of a loser. Her brand, once associated with championship and winning, is not associated with losing. And that's just because, I mean, she didn't have to come in and win a championship first 2 years. But hell, if she had a couple of decent seasons and it looked like she's progressing towards a championship, because I don't think Jordan or LeBron won championships until they was in the league 5 or 6, maybe 7 years even. But I'm not saying that. But when you, just trolling at the bottom, nowhere, here it is, 10 games left. You ain't nowhere in the competition. You got 4 other teams fighting for the one little 8 spot that's left. And you out the picture. They are ruining the young lady's brand. And much as she loves Chicago and all the ambition she has about, having the popularity of Jordan, I mean, Jordan had kind of, it was a little raggedy too. Except he had a pretty decent GM that at least knew talent. I think she would be making a mistake to stay here. I just put it like that because they're already proving to you you're not important. Because there was no reason, and people say it now, there was no reason to fire Teaspoon. Every excuse you all came up with falls into what you did this season. Nothing. You haven't progressed one bit. And so, and then you didn't go out and get talking about she can't attract free agents. They'd have made the sacrifice for her quicker than they would for Mr. Jeff, the GM. They ain't even taking his phone call. Who is that on the line? GM, click, pass him up, keep going. Then you have all these people coming off teams, and then they wind up, good quality players that could help your team position itself. He passed them up. He didn't make no moves last year that wasn't sabotaged, and he didn't make any moves this year. But they claim they billing, and they mad that the fans aren't falling all over their feet. These people are delusional. I'm not getting ready to bow at your feet, and because bottom line is it's about the product you put out there. And then every lie could be challenged. You out here telling people, I'm building a team around Angel, but you got her sitting in the corner. She could have been sitting in the stands when Vandersloot was playing. That wasn't a team built around no Kamilla Cardoso. Because if you was gonna build it around them two, you'd have went and got you a wing. But what you do, you took the 3rd pick, gave it up to get another guard to satisfy Vandersloot, not Angel Reese, and not Kamilla Cardoso. So, I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's a lot of people in business run their business like a hustle. Anytime, we need 20 million here. Okay, we're gonna run this hustle. Instead of the young man at the Valks, that's a business. That's how you build a business. There are astute business people over here. I don't know what they're doing in Chicago. I really don't.
I see Brass Tech saying GMs and front office. Do assistant GMs and front office personnel who want to be general managers view Chicago in the same light? So I would say yes, based on, I believe they said when they got ready to hire Teaspoon, they had 2 applications.
They only had one. They had 2 applications, and I think they only interviewed one coach, and she turned it down. Now, out of desperateness, Nadia used her connections, to solicit Teaspoon, because Teaspoon had NBA ties. Of course, she was a legend in the game. Blah 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 bloom. And at the time, they were trying to keep their only money maker, which was Copper, because everybody else was getting the hell out of there. And they were trying to hang on to Copper. And then NECA and Skylar Diggins actually were considering coming here, until they kind of got here and seen the setup. But Copper was going to stay and play with those vets. She didn't want to be part of a rebuild, and once they went on to Seattle, she finally took a trip out there to Phoenix. She was like, I'm out of here, so then what other hope could you come up with except for, recruiting Kamilla with your 3rd pick and then finagling away, to get Reese through Weatherspoon? Both of them players came to Chicago through Weatherspoon's connection to Don Stanley and Kim Mulkey. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, and I think that both Kim Mulkey and Dawn felt like I can put my baby in the hands of Teresa, and I know my baby gonna be okay. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they were so enthusiastic about coming here. But then you get here, you know, and you know, the first thing, you know, because both of those young ladies expressed a lot of hurt behind Teresa getting dismissed like that. And I think they internalized it, you know, to the point that they felt maybe if they could have did a little more, they could have caused her to keep her job. But there was no intent. To me, it was absolutely the intent of the organization to have her as a placeholder. And I just would have respected them more if they'd have just told her that. Look, we need somebody temporarily, you know, can you come do me a solid, you know?
You know, sometimes when you transparent with people, I think that's what people don't realize. I'm gonna give my soapbox for a minute. When you take a person's opportunity to choose, that's when you mess up, right? You could have came to Teresa Weatherspoon and say, hey, listen, really, you know, we really want to kind of have who's here now? Tyler Marsh. We want Tyler Marsh to come here. What about we bring you in here 1 year while he finishes up in Las Vegas, and then you stay another year to mentor him and help him, you know, whatever it is that he needs to do as far as learning how to be a head coach in the WNBA. Not necessarily carrying out what your current system is, none of that. But give a person an opportunity to choose. Or hey, you know what? Really, I got Tyler coming in next year. Do you want to do something for right now? What you doing this year?
Right, just get a little experience so you can put that on your ticket punch. You know.
But when you bring somebody in and make them think they got 2 years and you got them double dapping at the draft because they think they just built their corner, they just got the cornerstones of what it is they finna build out, and then you turn around after they get you from supposed to be 12 to almost in the playoffs, and you tell them, hey, you know, no, thank you, move on. It leaves a bad taste in people's mouths that already had a bad taste in your mouth. And then the other part of that is that the players are too willing to tell people what the hell is wrong there. Their organization, listen, Chicago Sky ain't the only organization that got internal turmoil. They're not the only organization that ain't feeding people a pregame meal every game. But the way that they handled it got people like, you know what, I'm gonna spread the word on you. Other people like, you know what, okay, you messed up this time, but I'm gonna see how you fix it the next time. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? If you messed it up, fix it up. But they ain't even trying to fix it up, and that's a big part of the problem. So the firing of Teresa Weatherspoon, where's that energy for Atlanta? What energy for Atlanta? King Lion Crown. Tell me, and then I'll tell you where it's at. Tell me, and then I'll tell you where it's at. Because here's the thing: if you've been following me long enough, then you know that I had Tanisha Wright fired last year because I didn't think that she did a good job. Period. I think that she's doing a great job as an assistant. I don't think that she's a head coach. So Atlanta did what I thought they should do. So let me know what energy I should have for them, because I have 4 of them. The Atlanta Dream don't have a practice facility either, and they better get to working on it. The thing that the Atlanta Dream aren't is 28 years old like the Chicago Sky. The matter of fact, the Atlanta Dream is the last expansion team to come in here. So again, it ain't just the Chicago Sky that ain't got a facility, and that's my very point. You saw free agents rush down to Atlanta even without a facility.
Exactly. They still were able to attract elite players. So they have a decent practice space, you know, and and then they got a city, and then I didn't see them marketing a win now live.
Yeah. And I don't know that I would say that Tanisha's a horrible assistant. You know, I just don't think that she's a head coach. I see her up pouring into the players. Now, she may not be the assistant for Angel Reese. That's okay. But here's the thing. I didn't like every coach that I played for. But I wasn't here to like them. I was here to get coached by him. Mm-hmm. See, that's the other thing. I don't know when we woke up and everybody had to like each other at work. That's my coworker. Did you do your job? Because I'm going to do mine. And I don't care what you do when we get off work. But while we at work, do yours and I'm gonna do mine so that we get to where we're supposed to get to. I don't need to be your friend. I'm not here to be your friend. Everybody on the team don't got to be friends. Everybody on the team, a lot of people don't realize ain't even friends. Some of these people don't speak when they leave from the facility. But they ain't got to, as long as they do their job. But I don't know that I would say she's a horrible assistant. Her attitude might not be for you. I don't know. I'm not here about her attitude. I can't speak on her attitude. I haven't experienced it. I didn't like the way she handled pressers at the end of last year, but that's what I thought made her not really a good head coach. But we ain't gonna make this about her. But because Teresa Weatherspoon, that was a knife twist. We talked about Angels record-breaking rookie year, the reviving Kennedy in the W. That was the foundation for growth, culture, for belief. And then they just tossed her aside. And if we honest about it, Nadia Rawlings is the black female co-owner there. They pushed her out front like the face of the move. Like, you go out there and tell them she fired. And it was Erasure dressed up like Progress. And it wasn't about systems. It wasn't about X and O's. It was strictly about power and about stripping black leadership and selling a safer image to corporate sponsors. So, I don't care who is on the Chicago Sky. I still support them, all of my hometown and state teams. I'm not a part-time fan. Oh, there you go, Reginald. Yeah, as you should. You could. Nobody said don't support the team. But what we said is they sold you a dream this year. You know, stand 10 toes with your team, 28 years. If you're willing to keep buying that, they'll keep selling it to you.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Yeah, they got that packaged up for you all day, every day. But what does it mean when a black woman's leadership is erased under the guise of progress, while an unproven male coach is handed the keys, Will?
It means that their organization prioritizes optics over competence and culture. You know, you erasing black leadership under the pretense of modernization or progress. That sends a clear message. Talent, experience, and cultural stewardship are secondary to create an image that appeals to corporate sponsors. So it's a pattern of sidelining black women while giving unproven men opportunities that should have gone to those who built the foundation. And that's just not something unique to the Sky. That's going on all the way across, all the way across the NBA. You've seen black women pushed out, not for other women to come in, not for other black women to assume those jobs, but to bring in black men, mainly with NBA ties. So, when they talk about this mainstream and going white, you know what that really means? Time to hook up my buddy. Let me hook up my cousin. Let me hook up my brother. This, that, and the other. It's about now that money's in the thing, because you didn't care how many women were coaching when there wasn't no money there. But now that there's money there and there's potential for men to make millions of dollars, boom, you breaking out the broom. And it's a common pattern that goes back, as far back as this country. That's what they do. They pushing these women aside, not honoring some of the legends in the game or being selective about who they even mention. It's black women at the bottom, getting their teeth kicked in.
Yeah, we got some black faces in high places that ain't changing anything. I can't disagree. I can't disagree there. And Lisa Leslie saying she would never apply to be a WNBA coach again. Lisa Leslie is a one-off for me. I don't understand that. Like,
I guess I'm looking at maybe she might have put her name in some hats and maybe expected some some relationships to have given her opportunity, and then it don't happen. I felt the same way leaving high school basketball. I was like, I had other offers, but the situation was so tarnished my soul. I just, was willing to leave it alone altogether. Because I spent too much time billing what I was billing. For some man to swoop in and be able to, take something I spent years putting together, poised for a championship run. So I certainly understand because I've had a similar experience. Wasn't at the pro level, but I know how it is to be penciled out or erased, for something that you've built.
So, and I see y'all talking in the chat about Lisa Leslie. Yeah. And y'all saying FM like, yeah, okay, so you got one no, and you were like, you quit. I don't know how many no's she got.
Yeah, she didn't say it was just one no.
Allegedly, she would have been Dallas coach from the way she described it. Sound like the process was toxic. Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing. This can be a toxic game. I mean, we talking about open the book still. Hashtag respect their game. Hashtag pay them pay them what you owe them. You know what I'm saying? Give them what they worth. This is the climate that we're in. So it could be a very toxic, hard place to be in at times. So everybody may not be built for it. I'm not sure. Like I said, I tell you all the time, I think that Lisa Leslie's expertise as far as like a big and being able to develop players, I love that. I love the work that I'm seeing her do there, and I hope she leans into that. I hope she, I'm not clear though as far as like the coaching. I know she's done some coaching at the Big Three, but Lil, I want to know from you, how does using Nadia Rawlings as a cover fit into a larger pattern of exploiting Black faces to sell decisions that harm Black culture?
You know what, Nadia, using her as a shield, that's a classic performative representation move that they make all the time. And see, it gives the appearance of inclusivity while allowing the executive to make decisions that erase Black culture and leadership. And that's just part of a broader trend where Black faces are used to legitimize corporate agendas. It kind of shields them in a way. It's actually a white executive making power moves, but anytime that it's against another Black person, then they're gonna use somebody from your own community. I mean, President 47, he just did it yesterday. He want to bring the troops in to Chicago. I don't know what they're gonna guard, because they definitely ain't going to no serious neighborhoods where they're gonna do some thumping. But what he did to sell it, because we got a Black mayor, it's Democratic here. He went to the old time favorite, the pastor. And he got pastors out there, Black pastors. Oh yeah, we need to bring them in here to stop the killings and blah 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 bloom. They ain't gonna be nowhere where killing going on. They're gonna be downtown walking around the monuments just like they was in DC. They ain't went to one neighborhood where there's any killing going on. All that is just show and tell. But see, he knew that Trump and people like Trump, they know how to use Black faces and our leadership, those that have assimilated into their culture, to convince the rest of the hood that this is a progressive move. This is something that we need to do to protect ourselves, and this, that, and the other. Everybody know there will be nobody in Inglewood. There will be no one in South Shore. They're not going to Old Block, D Block, E Block, and none of them blocks over there where they, really got some things going on of a criminal nature. That's just, show and tell. So Rawlings, she plays the same role. She did the same shit to Pokey Chapman. Rolled her up out of there after 8 years of systemic failure. You bring in Pokey. Pokey had a lot of connections from college and stuff like that. She got him to the playoffs, got him to a finals, had a winning record. We're not going to renew your contract. We're going in a different direction. I'm like, a different direction? a championship is the only direction you need to be moving in. So she moving in that, you know. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way we would be an oppressed people had we not, if we don't have people like Nadia Rawlins, helping out the those that are, part of oppression. I mean, we've just unfortunately had them kind of people, throughout. And I don't care what she tells Angel and what she tells Cardoso. That woman right there, she will look you straight in the face and slice you ear to ear. That's the bottom line. You trust her when the Bible says trust no man. That she not a man, but I'm saying that's the kind of person God was referring to. You just, she's not, and she was the one at the draft hyping them all, stuff like that. But that, they legitimize these corporate agendas, and they actually wind up disenfranchising the communities that they're supposed to represent. And she has, this community here is very disappointed, particularly Black women, because for 20 years she sold us that this organization was going to be different. We're going to stand 10 toes down for women. She even formed a little nonprofit organization where we got a lot of Black female politicians here too. Mm-hmm. She was going to bring the politicians in the business world together and this, that, and the other. And she sold that game, but she just showed her cards. I ain't got really, too much to say on that. That's that'll go down as a damn shame. Because you have a strong Black presence here, for Black women,
Well, I mean, none of this hustle works. I mean, Nadia's, she's part of it, but none of this hustle works without the media, right? So the media is the one that really carried this con. You had Teresa Weatherspoon fired, and the reporters right away, they parroted everything that the front office had, all of the front office men. Couldn't develop players. Never mind Angel Reese breaking rookie records. Two rookies, started two rookies and got them both on the all rookie team. Instead of challenging the lie, the media amplified it. They turned it right up on it. Tyler Marsh got hired. Headline sold his NBA pedigree. I don't even remember what chair Tyler was sitting on as a Las Vegas Aces coach. They dressed up his inexperience as innovation, and the erasure spun the erasure into progress, right? So, the media hyped her as just a marketing machine, like she was just jerseys and TikTok followers and merch. But they took her cultural meaning away, and they took her basketball significance away. People talk about Angel like she can't hoop. That's what got her here. The fact that she can hoop, none of the rest of this stuff matters if she can't hoop.
And the killer part is, you look at the commercials that come on that the NBA puts out. They show everybody else making a move, doing something basketball related. They'll just pan by her face, or they'll never rarely show her in action. Like, I see these kind of things, so they marketing her like she just some face drawing attention, but not hooping at all.
Y'all run them lights up for us. Exactly. They muted her unapologetic Black femininity, right? They just muted it. They cashed in on her visibility. Mm-hmm. And across the league, the pattern is still the same. CC getting saturation coverage. She ain't played since July. Asia, when the last time y'all seen Asia Wilson's commercial? The one with the warning on it, the parental advisory warning. I see Sabrina's all the time. I seen Nafisa's. When the last time y'all seen Asia's? Because Asia on a tear right now. 12 up. When the last time you seen it? Never mind, tell me. Compared to how many times you seen Caitlin sitting on that couch eating popcorn from the logo 3. Anyway, Arika Gumbawale, Reese, they get pushed to the margins, and it's not biased coverage. That's cultural engineering. And the media wasn't a watchdog. They are accomplices in this thing. Megaphone for the ownership's hustle. A narrative was needed, sell tickets, justify the firings, shield sponsors. The media was right there, running cover. Especially the Chicago media. I was surprised at how unfriendly the Chicago media was to the Chicago Sky team. Remember, it took me, I was asking y'all last year, like, yo, does any newspaper like the Chicago Sky in Chicago? That blew my mind. But I gotta ask you, how dangerous is it when the media stops being the watchdog and becomes the mouthpiece for ownership and corporate sponsors?
It's very dangerous because when the media amplifies the ownership spin instead of holding them accountable, it creates a false reality for the fans and the players. Misrepresentation, that becomes normalized in a sense. And then, the decisions that exploit the culture, labor, and the fan loyalty, it goes unchecked like it did this year, and it runs them up. Because if you don't have a critical media, transparency disappears, and that leaves the fans and the athletes, vulnerable to manipulation, just like they have, used the hell out of Reese's name, image, and likeness. Barbie night, she didn't get a dime. Neither did her teammate. Special this and special that. And I'm gonna tell you something. Who else are they rushing in to see except for those Twin Towers? So. But Chicago media, I think we covered that in the last show that we had. According to Scoop Jackson, who wrote a piece about it, and then even in his book, I mean, it's just they mistreat, misrepresent, and dog out Black athletes, whether they male or female. They did it. I mean, the shit they did to Derrick Rose was so outrageous. For that young man to have come from the hood, and been blessed enough to pack that place. They hadn't had excitement for a player like since Jordan, when that young man came into being, and the media press was unmerciful. Rushing him back from his injury and stuff like that, saying he didn't want to play and he was trying to use the injury to not play. I mean, they dogged the man out, and he eventually wound up.
Derrick Rose on my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. Fam, y'all let me know. Do y'all trust the media to give an honest take on your team? Or your spidey senses tingling more often than not? Because they selling the story that the ownership wants. Let me know. Bigger than basketball though, Lil, what does this kind of media engineering do to the way Black athletes, especially Black women, are seen and valued in our culture?
You know what? That kind of media engineering, that distorts public perception and it erodes the cultural respect, by muting Black women's accomplishments, minimizing their leadership, and highlighting them solely as marketing tools. The media reduces them to a commodity rather than a fully realized athlete and a cultural figure. And so this shapes the societal narratives. It undervalues their labor and reinforces stereotypes while allowing exploitation to continue unchecked. And that's my fear going forward, that, we got 1.7 million Brazilians in the United States. Cardoso comes from a country of 200 million people who know who she is. What they're gonna do? Get with tourism, and she gonna be the next hustle. Because let me tell you something. Nadia been in the entertainment game long enough. She know how to create the smoke and mirror. She's a very valuable tool to that owner and Fox, but the fans, if you're uneducated, you're gonna suffer through the same type of exploitation. The game is to be sold, not told. They not only told you, they sold you a game that they didn't care whether they could pull it off or not. Because once they move started, once they had that ticket money from those season ticket holders, and I don't even know if you put a down payment back down if you can, recoup that. But once that money came in, it was just like, hey, we're gonna keep on selling. Then you seen what they did, as this thing began to fall apart, which I said just from a spiritual standpoint, I didn't think they would be successful. Because God just don't like ugly, and that was doing that to black women, that kind of turned my stomach as a black woman. But I just didn't think that they had the cachet. That's the word, the cachet to pull off what they was talking about. Because it was just too much. If it was kind of a little more quiet about Teresa having been dismissed, or had the main thing that angered black women was the fact that she wasn't given a full opportunity like they're going to give Marsh. Marsh is going to come back, Paglioli with his raggedy self, he'll be back, and they'll be selling you, so get your pockets ready. If you that kind of standing 10 toes down, I'm not going to stand 10 toes down for nobody exploiting another black woman ever. You're never going to get $1 out of me. I'm going to do just like 50 Cent. You can't get $1 out of me exploiting other black women, young and old. So if you want to stand,
you'll say not $1.
Not $1. If you want to stand, I didn't give them a penny this year. I didn't go. I mean, I passed by the stadium just on my way home from the VA, but but I didn't look. It was over to the left. I kept straight.
He'll say I didn't even look at him.
No, I hear you. And then for you to see in the NFL and in these sports leagues, they humiliating these black athletes. Look what they doing to Shador. And you want to tell me you want to stand 10 toes down for that type of humiliation to our children? Nah, you ain't been in the game long enough, and you ain't been the brunt of something like that happening to you. There's no way. Shit. It'd be long periods of time. I can mess with you, not mess with you. I until them people is gone. Nah, I'm not gonna stand down on that, and I'm going to make sure that I use whatever microphone I got to let other people know. If you like being pimp, played, and hustle, what they tell you, if you find a stupid one, keep bumping their head. You gonna keep getting your head bumped. I ain't got no problem with it.
But it just ain't she ain't even looking at the stadium. It ain't even in the skyline. You hear me?
Kept going.
So this what we watching right now with Chicago Sky. Is it just one team's mess? It's a league-wide political play. That's the part that I think we're not calling out enough. The Dub ain't just rebranded franchises. The whole league is under a rebrand. Black coaches pushing out, swap for NBA link, male hires, stuff like that. Black superstars marketed for profit, a race when it comes to leadership identity. After 2024 election gutted the DEI, right? Companies and leagues lined up to follow. Women's basketball basically is just another battlefield for the politics of whiteness right now. If you don't believe me, look at the Caitlin stands that's around. It stopped being about basketball probably a longer time ago than what we really want to admit. And this hustle they selling about making the league safe for conservative corporate dollars. What they're not telling you about that is that the cost of that is paid by black fans, black leaders, and black culture. Mm-hmm. So how do politics off the court, especially the rollback of DEI and the chase for corporate money, shape what we see happening inside the Dub right now?
You know what? As I explained to y'all, politics and corporate priorities, they dictate who gets opportunities and who contributions are erased. And when they roll back that DEI at the federal level, they started removing structural support for blacks across the board, whether they were coaches, executives, in this so-called mainstream effort to chase corporate dollars. They ain't no chasing corporate dollars. You're just trying to get your buddy to do business with you. I want to do business with somebody who looks like me, and all this, kind of nonsense. Mm-hmm. They trying to make this new group of people, this white male, in a political climate like we got. We're in a very desperate political climate, and they just threw authenticity out the window. You know, you're trying to satisfy a small group of people, and you got people that have been rolling with you the whole 29 years you've been in existence. You're just kicking them to the curb for a small group that as soon as their political agenda is met, adios. They're gonna be gone. They're gonna be looking, you know. I mean, it's just, I don't know. The league, you know, their decisions are prioritizing profit and optics, not fairness, talent, or culture. And I'm not saying that there's not a point in a business structure that you should be chasing profits, but green money is green money. What, you know, I don't care if you, I put it like this. When I was in college, I had to do a presentation over a CD that I was selling. And they asked me, who's your customer base? It's anybody that got $10. I don't care what color they are, you know, where they come from, who they are with the psychograph. Anybody that got $10 that's willing to buy my product, I'm gonna sell it to them. So you know, this kind of narrowing, trying to, you know, satisfy, making them, you know, that comfort shit really gets on my nerve. You know, you want to be comfortable, stay home. You know, you don't have to come to the park and, I mean, to the arena, make me uncomfortable. You know, it's just too much catering to that going on. And I just think is, you know, part of the political climate, because I just think things would be, you know, you had a different president, might have a different, well, you would definitely have a different, you know, thing going on right now. So
I want to jump in the chat real quick. I want to say a couple things. Do I think another team would take Angel because they muddy their name? The one thing that I love about Angel is that can't nobody muddy Angel name, because Angel so unapologetically herself. She tell you her own self, and she built platforms to tell you her own self. So if you confused about Angel, there's too many places out there that Angel that told you who she was. I think that Angel's body of work speaks for itself. I think she's broken records and put her name in the conversations with legends and Hall of Famers that any team would take her. Now, I also see Kings of Lion, I think it was, that said every team had a chance to her. No, they didn't. Angel went number 7. That means that there were 6 teams before them that could have got her. That was it. She's on a rookie deal. I don't believe that the Chicago Sky really are even taking any calls about trades for her. So I don't want to put a narrative out like any team could have had her. No, they could. No, they could. And I know that a lot of teams were cautioned about moving up to get Angel last season because they didn't know how Angel was going to show up. But Angel got drafted and sat down at that table. And I wish I could find an interview. If anybody has it, it's her, Diamond DeShields, and I want to say maybe Teaspoon's in there. But Angel talks about the fact that I'm coming in a rookie. I'm gonna hold people accountable. I want to be held accountable. I'm here to carry my weight. I'm here to get better. I'm here to be poured into. I'm here to work my ass off. And when they found out that, oh gosh, she's got a motor too. So whatever you thought about her based on how she wears her hair, or the fact that she likes to play with her lashes on, or the fact that, you know, or the fact that when you out there, or the fact that when you out there hooping, she's really hooping. And yeah, you seen the clip. Shoe came off and she held the clip and blocked the girl's shot too. You seen the clip. The girl was talking to her. She said, "Hey, how many points you got?" "Oh, okay, then what you talking about?" See, I like all of that about basketball, and I'm okay with all of that about basketball, and none of that defines for me who Angel is as a person off the court. So I don't get all of them things mixed up, and I think people do, and I don't understand why they do it so much with her, but it's ridiculous, right? So I don't know that every team had a chance to get her this time, but when Angel comes up for free agency, I believe that Angel Reese, if there's 16 teams in this league, she'll get 16 calls. I don't think it's one team. I don't think it's one team that would be like, "Nah, I don't want that." Tell me your team that wouldn't. Tell me why your team. And if you're a fan of a team, and you're like, "Nah, we wouldn't want Angel." Tell me why. I'm really interested. But Lil, I got a question for you while I'm waiting to hear back from the chat. What does it mean for the future of Black women in basketball if the league keeps bending to political pressure instead of standing on its cultural roots? Mario Stewart, thank you for the membership, fam.
You know, it threatens both the representation and the opportunity. You know, if the league continues to favor political expediency over culture and integrity, Black women will continue to face these systemic barriers in coaching, leadership, and representation. You know, talent may be marketed for, for visibility, but the pipeline for influence and legacy building will continue to shrink. And that's going to leave players and leaders, these coaches, really at the mercy of corporate and political agendas, just like what's going on right now. You know, this society is being maneuvered to be at the mercy of corporations and all these political agendas. And if you see that happening on a small scale, eventually it's going to happen on a larger scale. We in a lot of, when the bottom fall out, you gonna know it. You ain't gonna see it coming, but you're gonna feel it when it get there.
You better be ready. I'm tired of hearing the false narrative stating that she doesn't have fundamentals. Oh, she's got fundamentals. And how you say Angel's the Moses Malone of the dub. Prof Golden, what's good? We're just talking about the con. The win now con that Chicago Sky ran on the people. The intent is to change the face of the W to a lighter hue to accomplish this. Players of darker hue are not highly marketed by the dub. While the chosen, whether she plays or not, is always highlighted for sure. Marvin, what's good? People underestimated Angel talent coming into the league. They believed that she was a fade, and that a fast, and that she was going to OnlyFans. People didn't pay attention to her basketball school. I don't know who those people were. That was ignorance. Anybody who thought that Angel Reese was going to come to the league and then end up in OnlyFans was disingenuous in what they were saying in their assessment of her. You don't walk out of college the double queen and end up on OnlyFans. That shit sounds crazy. Like anybody that thought that was just being disingenuous about who she is, and you couldn't have watched her work. Like I still think that people really forget like Angel's potential coming out of AAU, coming out of high school before the injury, before the rod in the leg, before the pin in the foot. Remember, y'all just saw Angel grab the rim with a rod in her leg and a pin in her foot still. And y'all be talking about it looked like Angel laboring. She got a goddamn rod and a pin in her foot right out in the dub, still running. Yeah, it might be a little laborsome some days. I don't know. I don't got one. Do you? But I don't know too many people that's just out here grabbing rim and playing out here with Asian them like that. I think that gets lost sometime in her game too, but I digress. Never mind. The ESPN all under age of 25. Oh, that was a true joke. Lil and I have not talked about the Portland hire yet. We'll do that, I think, separate. I've seen a lot of people been asking about that and what we think. So we'll have to take a look at it. That's why it's so important to build your business portfolio outside of basketball. And this is what we see Angel doing with her investment portfolio podcast show that's getting ready to start. But here's the thing. And this is what I'm saying to all young people. And if you have any questions, reach out to me because I'm here to help you do it. Own your name, own your domain, build your brand right now. Start ranking right now on Google, whatever that is, whatever your brand is. Even if you start out as a basketball player and don't end up like that, branding is the new hustle. It's the new way to get to the money. And it ain't no age limit on starting. As soon as your people let you get a camera, cut that thing on. As soon as your people, whatever it is you out there doing, showcase your own self, build your own platform, megaphone your own name. That's where it's at right now. I don't know what you call them BS Al 514, but about what I just said. But let me know. I'm happy to talk about it. You can tell. Please help me understand why branding ain't the new hustle. But okay, and why it's not important to build your business portfolio. I don't know how we lost you there. I don't know. And I want to know from the fan. Oh, ESPN. Okay, I got you. I'm with you now. We was delayed a little bit. I'm like, dang, Al 514. You know? Okay, because we usually be on the same page. Okay, we caught up. Should fans hold leagues accountable when political and corporate interests start shaping team and league decisions? I think so, Lil, and I think so. But I would like to know from y'all what y'all think. But why do you think fans don't? Do you think that they just don't know it's all right? What do you think it is that keeps fans from being like, nah, I'm gonna hold you accountable for this?
It is lack of knowledge. You know, a lot of fans do not realize the power that they have. I give you an example. If the fans came to a conclusion that they had a win now hustle rolled on them, and they said, you know what, you won't see us next year, not buying one damn season ticket, you better believe that front office will get their game together quick. You know, because even out in these streets, people gonna hustle you until you wake up, you know, and know you being taken advantage of. You know, so fans don't understand you are a consumer. You paying for a product. It's just like you going and buy a burger and then somebody hand you a cold burger and some limpid fries, and you don't want to pay for that. You don't want to spend your money for that. I was not going to spend my money to see that garbage of a product that was put on the floor, even though I love Angel and Kamilla dearly, you know. But I figure I can hold on to that $60 Uber ride ticket and $22 hot dog. I'm gonna have to check y'all out on the highlights of the TV. I didn't watch maybe 2 or 3 games this year, and that's just being honest. I think I watched the LSU game, but I from a basketball standpoint, I can't watch that kind of lack of effort, and it was so ridiculous at the begin. You know, I immediately saw that they were trying to build that team around Vandersloot, you know, and once you tell me a lie, I'm gonna consider you a liar, and I'm just gonna, roll kind of accordingly, you know. So if the fans, if just like what Target did, the Target got out here, we're gonna DEI, we got $2 billion, we're gonna hit you with, we're gonna put black businesses in the store. Then no sooner than election night, now you're gonna cut it all off. So you know what the customers did? They said, okay, well, shop your damn self. You know, we ain't coming to your store. We ain't spend. Then when you start losing $15 million, you know, a week, and you looking at your spreadsheet and say, oh, damn, they're accounting for 50% of our revenues. You know, now you want to call Reverend Sharpton in. Now you want to meet with some preachers and stuff like that. Now, we don't want to hear it now. And what happened? They started piling up, wasn't moving. Stop, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm gonna tell you something. Anybody with good sense, any fan knows that teams are built. You know, they don't come as a result of a miracle. Very few people put together a team and win a championship. That's not nothing that normally happens. I respect your honesty. Look, we don't have a facility up yet. It's coming. We ain't gonna be able to get the pieces in, but we're gonna put, you know, something gritty, hustle, defense, you know, kind of like they had with Teaspoon. I mean, she didn't overwhelmingly win, but I give her 10, 15 games she could have won, you know, if some of her veterans had showed up at key times. But you still enjoyed going to see the team, you know, because they played hard, and you know, you could see the growth from the time they started with, you know, their first game until they had got to the you could see the progress, so you could appreciate it. If they had told them, look, Teresa on the contract, we're gonna give her one more, you know, swing at this thing. Even if they'd set Angel down and Kamilla and told them, look, we think we could bring a better coach in here to advance your career, and we willing to give you know, Teaspoon, we know y'all like us, so we're gonna give another year because it's her contract year. But if she don't produce, then we bring another coach in here to run the agenda we want to run. But you know, for you to be dishonest and then to humiliate that woman, you know, all in the press, all in public, knowing that she was a Hall of Fame and an icon, that organization could go straight to hell as far as I'm concerned. I got no love there.
And I know we got games coming up and people are gonna be tuning in. So, but it's some demographics because they don't lie that I want to share with y'all because they're trying to make a pivot to whiteness that doesn't make any sense. So, black fans last year boosted WNBA viewership 67%. Hispanic fans surged 96%. Women now make up nearly half the fan base, and youth exploded. Under 35 up 124%. Young girls up 139%. So the WNBA's the actual power of the league is its diversity. It's exactly what they're trying to cut out, which makes it crazy. The growth is rooted in black and brown culture, women and youth. That's where the growth is rooted at. So why center whiteness? Because the media and ownership sold the lie that conservative corporate money is the only path to profit. But that ain't the truth. And everybody walk around here with these phones and everything. You got your phone, your tablet, your smart glasses, the thing talking, all that. Hey, Google it. Look it up. It's right there. You don't have to take these lies. The receipts say the growth is coming from us. Look at Chicago. It's crystal clear. African American fans are the backbone of the sky, tied to the city's culture, Angel Reese's pool, and black communities. White fans growing, 18 to 34, but they're not the majority. But the type of white fans that are growing are the Gen Zers, the ones that are for diversity. We got to get these middlemen out the way. This middleman old ass thinking they got to get them out the way. The young people is trying to get everybody together for the party, and we're saying, hey, everybody can go party together, put something back into the community so that we have something that was built by us for us. So when the rainy days come, we can count on us. That's all. It ain't even no racist shit. It's about being able to take care of your own community and being set up to be able to do that and having them opportunities to do it where I'm the product, where I'm the cash cow. Pay me what you owe me. So, listen, the Hispanic fans, I think the surge to 96% in 1 year, I think that is a direct reflection on the true diversity of the city of Chicago. Women are still the heart of the base. And Reese's crossover appeal brought more men. It brought more men in, especially 35 and up. You got 2 through 17 watching games, girls up 181%. Under 35 now dominate nearly half the fan base. On social, Sky fans are 80% more likely to engage with sponsors. Reese and Cardoso together bring 6.3 million followers to this league and to the Chicago fan base. Those aren't, you can't spend those numbers. Them is receipts. But the play is still to erase them. So, Lil, when we look at Chicago specifically, how dangerous is it for the front office to alienate the very communities that put the Sky on the map?
You know what? It's really dangerous. These communities are the foundation of the team's identity and revenue. Alienating them, that's going to lead to disengagement, decline in attendance, and a loss of cultural credibility. You know, when the front office disregard the people who made the Sky relevant, they risk not only financial fallout, but also permanent erosion of trust and loyalty from fans who should matter the most.
Exactly. Really quickly, I want to talk about what some of these other teams did. Look at the Mystics. That's a real honest rebuild right there. Stacking draft picks, clear messaging, laying a foundation for the future, transparent, letting you see the young talent out there, letting young talent fail early so that they can be successful late. The Fever, built around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Smart spacing, veteran leadership, defined identity. The Fever got some other issues. And it's going to be that Caitlin's not going to be able to be who they think she's going to be able to be because they brought some players in there, some veteran leadership and some smarter spacing. So they got some other issues that they got to deal with, but they tried to have a rebuild and not a con. The Aces and the Liberty, that's what real win now look like. Okay, superstars, resources, facilities, moves that match the moment. But the Sky, half rebuild, half fake contender. No shooting, no stability, no direction, no guards. Hustle. Media helped sell it like it was gospel. What lessons should fans take from seeing what other teams have done like investing in honesty, stability, and resources. What should fans take from that, Lil, compared to what Chicago gambled on smoke and mirrors?
And fans got to learn to read between the hype and the reality. Transparency, investment, and clear strategy matters far more than these flashy slogans and star marketing that we want to back. Supporting teams that prioritize infrastructure, culture, and sustainable growth, that will ensure they have long-term success. You cannot have any type of long-term success, even in your own life, without stability. But if you keep blindly buying into that smoke and mirror narrative, you're going to be exploited, frustrated, and soon enough, you're going to be disconnected from the sport you love.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're about 4 minutes from the game. I'm getting ready to land this thing. This so-called win-now strategy, it was not about winning. It was about profit, about packaging up Angel Reese's shine, about discarding Teresa Weatherspoon, about selling fans a dream the front office never planned to deliver. The media, co-conspirators, spun the story, amplified the lies, muted the truth. It's not bad management. That's fraud. That's exploitation. So y'all know what's next? Action. Y'all know we always got something for y'all to do after. Don't complain. Organize. File petitions. Demand audits. Demand receipts for where your money went. Leo, I sent you the thing about the lawsuit being filed about open up the books over there. We're gonna take a look at that. Explore consumer fraud claims. If you sold a fake win-now product, that's a case. Pressure sponsors. If they funded Erasure, let them know it won't fly. Call out outlets, these media outlets that's carrying water for ownership. Demand the truth, not the PR spin. We don't need that. Keep using your platform to push back and demand facilities, leadership, and respect, players. Hustle only works if you buy in. And it's time to stop buying the lies, y'all. It was never about basketball. It's about justice. It's about refusing to let culture be exploited, erased, and sold back to us at premium prices. Sky might think they pulled off the con, but once the people see the game for what it is, the hustle's over. So let's keep it real. The so-called win-now scheme was never about winning games. It was a straight hustle. Bill, what you got before we get out of here?
Oh, listen. If you told, remember the game is to be sold, not told. Watch what people telling y'all. Learn how politics works. Try to understand the moment. I'm here to help you all learn what it is I know and what I've experienced. So, I definitely appreciate you all pulling up with us. Appreciate you all listening, to the recording and getting the whole story. And you could prepare questions. You don't have to agree with everything we're saying. We try to, lay out our story, where it makes sense and has logical conclusion. But if you disagree, put it in the comments and let us know and give us a chance to address it.
Hey, and we appreciate y'all letting us know other topics that y'all want us to cover. Asking us questions about topics that you want to hear our thoughts on. So the Sky told fans they were building a contender around Reese and Cardoso, but they never had the resources, the roster, or the infrastructure even to pull it off so far. They jacked up the ticket prices, sold jerseys, and packaged hope like it was merchandise. Whole time, smoke and mirrors. Y'all know what it is. The result, 2 young black stars, Reese and Cardoso, put on the front lines of a failed scheme that was doomed before it started. And that's how the exploitation of labor in sports goes down. Market the promise, drain the pockets, leave the players in the community holding the bag. It wasn't a gamble. It was a well-oiled con. And that's why we keep boiling this tea, because if the press won't tell the truth, we will. Every Tuesday and Thursday right here on CessTalksSports, BWISE, PoliSports Tea Time. Next episode of Broken Skies, we're pulling back the curtain on the front office, the executives behind 20 years of false flag games and broken promises. Y'all know what it is. CessTalksSports with Political Lil for PoliSports Tea Time. Subscribe, like, comment, share. And whenever you show love to our sisters shaking up the league, use a hashtag. Respect our game, hashtag fair pay WNBA. When they sell us false hope, call it what it is, fraud, and fight back. Sports are never just about the games we play, but the stories we tell and the systems we expose. We ain't done pouring boiling hot tea. This episode is time to meet the folks running the Sky Show. Stay tuned. Talk soon. That's Political Lil. CessTalksSports. We out.